are now listening to Heresy FM. This ain't your commissar station.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
And this is why we don't sing. This is why we do a fucking podcast.
Yeah, for real. So, welcome to the Serpent's Lodge first ever Christmas special. It's a magical time of year, right? So we're going to take a break from our usual format as we go through basically lore, the game, discussion, community, and instead we're going to focus on something else, which is the actual community, and should be always be the first and primary part of this hobby, is hanging out and having fun. So if you're on Christmas and you want to listen to something, we're here for you. We got you. We'll be your buddies today while your abusive parents settle like a divorce in the next room. It's all good. 2 Christmases, not that bad. It's all good. So
2 Christmases equals more Warhammer.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
You're just gaming the system. That's all you're doing. So let's talk about Christmas in 40K.
There's Christmas in 40K?
There is.
Why is there Christmas in 40K? It's in a secular,
it's not called
society.
Christmas. There's a celebration that basically, granted, time and coordination is kind of irrelevant for the most part. In 40K, due to the size of the galaxy, everything else, you're on planet A on the west side of the galaxy, and it's Christmas time, and on the east side of the galaxy, who fucking knows, they're being eaten by Tyranids. So time does not work as one planet. But that being said, almost universally across the Imperium, Imperial citizens come together for joy and cheer, and also somber remembrance of our Lord and Savior, Space Jesus Sanguinius, and how he died for our sins against the arch enemy that we know nothing about because they won't tell us. So, there you go. That's Sanguinala. Usually it's just a holiday, so to say. Granted, not off work because the Imperium never stops. But Imperial citizens gather together and basically probably commemorate some saints, probably Sanguinius, and they go and have their merry way. I'll say there's not too much to it. It's mainly that.
So do they give each other like presents or?
Again, it varies so much world by world. It's not necessarily. I don't have a source for this, but I vaguely remember seeing that it's a pretty common thing that gift giving does occur, but it's not a staple by any means. It's very much a, hey, here's a holiday in reverence of favorite hawk boy Sanguinius. You should celebrate it. And then they celebrate it. Now, what time and what they do, who knows? But they have a good time.
Do they have like a 40K Hanukkah type of celebration?
What about 40K Kwanzaa?
Yeah.
Well, there's no universal banking system, so there's no whatever you first said. And then
Hanukkah?
Oh yeah, that's actually yeah. That's.
How did you forget? It was like 5 seconds ago.
My credit score's too low, but Kwanzaa. I mean, the salamanders are around, so I don't fucking know. Man, I'm doing a lot of work for myself. These sensors, okay.
All right. What about like a space Ramadan, like a.
Actually, somewhat not Islam, obviously, but that sort of
Is there like
exists to a point.
There's a Middle Eastern galaxy.
There is that all people will usually try to.
Iran. These guys do have weapons of mass destruction.
They do, and usually that's going to be Terra.
I would.
It actually is, yeah. But all pilgrimage, Terra, basically every second of every day is flooded with basically pilgrims trying to go visit the holy world and birthplace of humanity. That is the most sacrosanct trip any person can take. Like, of all the righteousness and pilgrims, you have entire families that will sell everything they have just so they can take them, if not like their families, to a pilgrimage to Terra. Which I gotta be honest, sounds fucking awful. But what do I know?
Yeah. If anything, I would say Space Iran would be like the Mechanicus. Yeah, I think, riding around in like robot camels and dust wind. I'm thoroughly convinced that Pakistan is the Mechanicum.
I'm gonna give my life to Pakistan.
Yes.
Is that miserable? No, I don't even know what that means.
Mr. President, they've got a second doom crawler.
Listen, buddy, there's a thin line between joke and agreement.
Oh, shit.
my goodness.
Well, what is there like a 40K
Easter Bunny?
yeah, like Easter?
What other 40K holidays are there,
Oh.
Puppy
Yeah.
Step
You
Bro?
would think
Oh,
that
goodness.
there would be like the Sanguinala would be the 40K Easter. but-
Sanguinala is like the only universal one to my knowledge, so to say. Now everything else, there's a whole bunch of holidays that are on an individual sector level, and stuff like that. Like maybe a local sector saint died and stuff like that. And so the planets within that subsector or anything else will, respect that holiday.
Oh, so they have a St. Patrick's Day.
I wonder if the Death Guard celebrate Christmas. And
Oh, that's a good question.
I would
Just-
say they'd celebrate
just-
probably Halloween. I'd say Chaos would be like the Halloween town from.
nah, bro.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, you probably like you sleep tight in you sleep tight in your bunk on your flesh sack on the Chaos Space Marine ship, and you're sleeping all snugly, and all of a sudden you hear the slurp of Poppy Nobby Nurgle's fucking sleigh pulled by fucking rock flies.
Feliz Nurgle.
And Poppy Nobby Nurgle comes, and if you're a good little boy, he brings you syphilis, and if you're bad, he brings you AIDS.
If you're bad, he brings you like actual life, like you're no longer a plague marine and shit. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh my goodness, Papa Nurgle got me a real life action Magic
Yeah.
Johnson with real AIDS. I can't wait.
Yeah, so it's just back ass words. If you're a good boy, he brings you a sack of pestilence. If you're a bad boy, he cures you. Like,
You
ah,
ever seen that meme where it's like a Death Guard coming up? It's like, hey, Ultramarine, I got you a present. Ultramarine like, it better not be a plague. He's like, no, it's a present. He opens it up, it's plague. God. Yeah, I mean, they guarantee you they probably worship something if you think about it, because Chaos Society does indeed live. I mean, granted, basically outside time of space, it's not the Eye of Terror, right? But at the same time, they still, at least like near the fringes, they still have like a functional society. You got people who have their own planets and stuff like that. They run in different ways. They can make pacts with demons for protection. I mean, all the fun stuff like that. They could basically be almost as if you're in the material universe. And as such, when there's a society, no matter how chaotic, there's going to be some like holidays, right? Now, granted, this may not be a proper holiday. It's not like a federal holiday. You're getting the day off work type shit, but it's probably like a moment of remembrance or some shit. So it could be the festival of Nurgle's butt crack, and you're going around and you gotta fucking like not bathe for a month to celebrate this. Which they probably don't bathe.
I would bet Angron is hard to shop for.
Oh, dude.
I don't think any present would ever.
You know what happened to the last people that tried to gift him anything? That's how he got his current weapons. He went to he was like attacking a Forge World and basically fucking shit up. And to try to appease him, they made his two weapons that you can see on the model.
The two chain axes.
No,
Or no, the chain axe and the sword. Yeah.
And they made him this, and it's like, God basically got to your weapon. And he said, hey, if you leave us alone, here's this. Take this and leave us the fuck alone. And then Angron took the weapons. He said, oh, cool, I want to try this out. And the entire little...
God, there's no pleasing that guy.
Yeah, the entire dark mechanic is fucked up.
Oh shit.
Slanesh is super easy just by vibrators. New vibrators.
Yeah.
It snows on Slaneshi worlds, and it's not snow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's people.
it's crystallized cum. There's no way it's not crystallized cum. Like that's what that is.
It's like half cum, half coke. And they all boot.
Oh fuck.
I wonder what the orcs do on Christmas.
They actually have the most thing that's similar to Christmas, not in celebration necessarily, but in terms of characters.
That's right.
Yeah,
The Red Goblin.
Oh, yes, I know. I was just kind of trying to lead them in. But, so orcs, for whatever reason, Step Bro, you probably know the lore reason better than I do. All I know is at Christmas time, apparently it is super special for orcs, and every year they release a special edition Christmas model. Sometimes it's around a character called the Red Gobbo.
The Red Goblin.
and he's a Gretchen that is very similar looking to Santa Claus in a 40K way, and drives a sleigh of squigs.
What a baller. So there's actually a fun little thing about this. There's a thing about this because he's actually not the first Red Goblin. So initially, in lore, there was somebody called the Red Goblin. He was called the Red Goblin not because he was associated with Santa Claus, but perhaps another fat, jolly guy by the name of Karl Marx, and he tried to install a communist Gretchen revolution, and partially succeeded. And I'm pretty sure it ended up with him being killed. So, yeah, and that was the Red Goblin. That is official Games Workshop lore. There was a communist Gretchen revolution, and I think it ended up with the orcs stopping him. I need to look that up to verify, but yeah. But that was that, and after that, a little GW lore.
Imagine he had succeeded, and how much we'd have pink-haired orcs running around talking about
I will say
equality and shit.
The big thing about his revolution is that it was a revolution of the Gretchen. So you could think of it as like in like, you know, communists are like they don't like the upper class and all this stuff. That was basically the orcs, but it was the Gretchen versus the orcs.
Yeah.
So he was rallying all the Gretchen and the Gobos, you know, just them small boys, and going around and sticking it to the man. They were, you know. But that being said, Games Workshop eventually, whether inspiration or not,
would not be silenced.
They should have taken over fucking Orc Hollywood then.
it's just current Hollywood. But let's make them. But yeah, and then New Red Gamo is maybe based off that, maybe off not. They probably just took the name because it's a established thing and kind of funny, and they did this. Now, do orcs actually celebrate the Red Gave Christmas? I mean, in lore, not especially. And the only thing we have lore accurate to that is just the sort of meme potential Games Workshop puts out, and that's about it. Like they did like a Christmas song a while back. It was pretty funny, actually.
They've done so many like Christmas songs, and I really want to get these models because I really want to add them even as like little tokens to my army, like squig tokens. But I just think having like the entire collection is super cool.
That would be nice. But honestly, it works out color wise because you know green skin, red, so it's a very easy green and red color combo. And on top of that, I mean, orcs are jolly, right?
Oh, so jolly.
Yeah, they go around, they smash your skull open and they just butt fuck and they're like, yeah, this is life, right?
This is life. This is best life.
This is best life.
Yeah.
You're right, boys. Yeah.
What about like Tau?
Who cares about
So-
that?
Yeah, who cares about Sal?
I'm just we're going through different holidays and shit. Since this is where we're at right now and
I'll
shit.
celebrate the fact that they're still alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every day is a holiday for them.
It's
called living.
Any other faction could just wipe them off the face of the earth if they dedicated enough effort.
You were talking about a faction that quite honestly thought that it was one smart to try diplomacy with Tyranids.
Well,
Oh.
they did have that. They did have that. They had the for a while there. The Tyranids had an emissary, like an ambassador, whatever, that they would send out and try to reach, anyways, diplomatic solutions.
Uh-huh.
But then
we're not fucked with this. That's
Yeah.
not good. Yeah.
But then that just stopped being a thing in the lore.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows what the fuck happened to these guys, or if that was just maybe like a one-off thing, or if that was even canon at all. It was
Well, also even stupider, these guys also tried diplomacy with the orcs. They
Listen.
sent a diplomat. They had spent years and resources trying to develop orc language, to memorize orc language, to memorize orc talk and orc body language, to communicate with these guys. Sent the emissary, and the emissary never came back.
It's just America in the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can't really hate the Tau for trying to be diplomatic in a way, but
I can't get off our fucking turf.
at the same time, they seem very naive when it comes to that shit.
I just want to state that the fucking slogan is in the 41st millennium, there is only war.
Yeah.
Where does it say diplomacy in there?
I mean, do you
Fuck
have...
Tao.
I'll tell you. Speaking of gifts, though, I mean the Drukari know how to celebrate gifts. Speaking of Tao, their first interaction with the Tao. Because going off of that, the first time the Tao met the Drukari, they're just like, "Hey, you look kind of cool. Don't know why you're so fucking sharp and pointy, but I mean, hey, how's it going?" And Drukari like, "Hey, let's do like a cultural exchange program. We'll send our guys over to you. You send your guys back with us to Kamara, and we'll do a bit chill for a little bit, and then we'll just a cultural exchange."
And this is the Drukari
Yes.
saying this, right?
Yes.
You should already, right off the bat, be like, man, that doesn't sound like a good idea, but continue.
They were wide-eyed, bushy, like, "Oh my goodness, another sentient species. We have so much to learn from each other," and then being rational species, they'll accept the greater good. Well,
They didn't happen to look behind them when one of their guys was getting boo food.
yeah. So what happened is after a certain amount of time, I forget how much, they come back and they meet again. They're like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy? How's it going, buddy?" And then the Drukari are like, "Hey, we're back. We saw the Tao. They're kind of cringe." And then the Drukari are like, "Oh, cool. By the way, Mr. Tao, diplomat, here's the Tao that we took. They learned about our culture, and then they shoved them forward, and they've been turned into basically horrifying monstrosities that were screaming in pain, but they couldn't die." So gift giving, it's a wonderful part of the season.
Yeah, it is wonderful. And speaking of the holiday season, another thing that the holiday season is particularly known for is being cold.
Oh yes.
Cold and snow and
Right.
ice.
In wit, yes. The
And-
Imperial Fist. Continue.
And I think that this might be we just spent the last episode talking about the Imperium.
Yes.
And we got to touch in on tidbits of lore shit here and there, and I figured on a cold day like Christmas, what better way than to dip into some conspiracy icebergs?
Oh, God. This freaking thing.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
We're gonna have to put out like a full video on this later. 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. There's so much to cover, but let me go over a few.
We'll start. You know what? We were gonna make this one a short episode. We'll hit the. We'll just get into
a little teaser.
the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, do me a favor. Grab me a pencil and like a piece of paper. Let me
Listen,
Oh boy.
Listen, no matter how
God,
much-
Oh God.
no matter how much Step Bro
He's drawing
explains, right?
Yes.
No matter
He's drawing a chart.
I'll be sure to take a photo and put on
yeah,
screen for you guys
no
later.
no matter how much he explains right now, it's still not going to be enough to
Oh,
cover.
not at all.
How much?
Again.
How much silent? How much? Oh God! What are you? Oh, he's writing all kinds of.
Yeah, you guys can like. I'll explain in a second. You guys can say what I'm writing. Shit like that.
Constantine, Valdor, Russ.
That
What?
is
Big E.
who is
Cognitive.
it's Cognite. Okay.
Oh, Cognite.
That did not look like a G for a
Why
second.
is? Wait a second. Why is Russ on the?
Don't worry about it. We're getting there. We are getting there.
No,
We're getting there.
no. Hold on. Yeah, let's start right there. You just go ahead and talk while you fucking write. Why is Russ on the fucking iceberg?
I'm sorry. I'm pulling up the iceberg in my mind. Okay, so to go over this there's no brief way of doing this, but I'll do my best. So there's a certain faction in 40k and 30k called the Cognite. If you have read the Eisenhower series, you're aware of who these are. Probably not to the full extent, and the last book in the Beckwin trilogy is not out yet, so we don't know the full extent of this. But at the same time, sorry, I gotta get sit on my pad real quick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good because we also mentioned the Eisenhower series in the last
we did.
episode.
It's
Yes.
great starting point for anybody getting out. But long story short, they've been around for a long time, like since before the Emperor was known as the Emperor. I mean, before unification on Terra type long. It's a long ass time and group.
Is this
Okay.
is this the Cabal?
Not the Cabal. No, separate
Like an
groups.
offshoot of the
Nope.
Cabal?
Nope, separate groups. To our knowledge, no relation.
So,
Huh,
so
interesting.
what are they?
They are a collection of, I guess you could say, chaos aligned individuals. They necessarily
Yeah.
are not pro chaos, but they dabble in sorcerous materials and more nefarious means, so to say. They're the guys who are not above summoning demons to get what they want, even if they don't care for the demons or worship the demons. Now, long story short with this is what happened with the Cognite, okay, and Valdor and the eventual goal. So we're going to have spoilers, if that's okay, for the Beckman trilogy. Okay?
Go for it.
Okay, so if you don't want this, I'll put a timestamp up. We'll go from there. In the Beckman, in the last book, at the very end, we find out that basically the Yellow King is Constantine Valdor.
The what?
The Yellow King, the big guy who was basically partially the head of and partially manipulating the Cognite, was Constantine Valdor. That's right, the original OG Captain General of the Custodes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which is wild. We got to find out what he's doing, and he's cloning an army of psychic nulls or blanks. Okay, so we have a connection there, Cognite and Valdor. Now that being said,
They think Russ is with
Constantine, and Constantine has a connection to Russ because they have the twin spears. Yeah, and now what happens if they stab somebody with the twin spear?
What is it? Oh, something special. Whenever they stab with one of the twin spears, they for a brief moment gain someone that is corrupted by chaos gains their humanity back or something like that. Basically, they see all the deeds, every bad thing they've done. It's basically kind of like
what happened to Horus?
It's it's kind of like Ghost Rider's fucking stare into your fucking eyes.
Your penance there.
Penance, basically penance there. So they're connected there, Valdor and Russ. We know Valdor's at the heart of this, okay? That being said, we know Cognite has been present for the last, well, I'll just like say 10,000 plus years, 30k to 40k and beyond. In 30k, we do know that whenever it comes to Valdor, that the Emperor specifically basically conquered half of Terra to specifically get Valdor for an unknown reason. Like, he could have chosen anybody. He already had people he could have had be Custodes, everything else. He did not need Valdor, but he sought him out for one specific reason. And we do not know what that is. And that's a hell of a resource to do whenever you're in the process of, like, trying to unify all of humanity, going on a wild goose hunt to try to find one specific person who at this point was probably just like a young child. Okay? So, there's some stuff there. Next thing you know, he's so very clearly something special about Valdor that happens all the way through unification. Next thing, another tie between Russ and the Cognite, as well as Valdor, is the entire fact that during, spoiler also for the burning of Prospero, during the Council of Nicaea, there was a 1,000-son spy sent to basically just, I forget what, it was like basically either kill somebody or fuck with somebody, but they infiltrated the Space Wolf camp. Okay.
It wasn't what it was. It wasn't they had a spy. What it was they put one of their what's he called? One of their scalds.
Yes.
He put the scald under a trance so that he saw everything that was out of the scald's eyes and heard everything and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. That spy. During that time, whenever this was brought before Russ, they were thinking about whether one of the things Russ mentioned was the Cognite. So Russ, as a Primarch, was aware of the Cognite, which apparently, to our knowledge, is a super secretive hidden organization that basically nobody knows about, unless you're like Malkador, Emperor level type of stuff. Okay? So he had access to exclusive information. On top of that, what has Russ done that no other Primarch has done? At least reportedly or supposedly.
Killed an entire legion.
Killed a legion, killed a Primarch, basically the Emperor's executioner.
Yeah, when he killed Redacted.
Yeah, when he killed Redacted. So here's our deal. Why is that the one person that killed these legions that disappeared entirely mysteriously, know by the Cognite, and none of the other Primarchs do, to our knowledge?
Because he's Russ and he's a fucking G.
He is, but also the Cognite had some play in the missing legions' downfall and disappearance, or at least one of them. The Cognite were affected in some capacity, the disappearing legions. So what we're looking at right now is that there is Cognite is working towards something, okay? And this has been 10,000 years plus in the making, and this involves Valdor, and this involves the missing legions, okay? And on top of that, this all goes up to Valdor eventually using the Cognite to do something with the Emperor. We do not know what yet. Meaning, hypothetically here, that Valdor is actually the key to bringing the Emperor back in 40k. And he's going to use the Cognite to do it, and we can see the return or information of the missing legions whenever we learn what that is.
Huh. My mind.
That's an entire subplot. So again, like, we don't have a solution, right? It's not a conspiracy theory with a very clear end. But it's a conspiracy theory, and we can guess about where it's going to lead. And also, this is an entire subplot that has been taking places in books from the Horus Heresy to 40k and beyond. Meaning, this is a very well-established thing. Next thing, presumably, as to add on to this, in the Imperial Fist Codex, the fifth company of the Imperial Fist, the one with the black trim, they go around and they hold the, basically, Dorn's diary journal, whatever. And apparently, they found clues. The Dravastus Fane, the current company captain of the fifth company, found something in Dorn's journal that leads to a conspiracy all the way up to the very tops of the Imperium that started in 30k, when Valdor disappeared, only to turn up 10,000 years later as the head of the Cognite, as the Yellow King. So perhaps, due to the fact that the Emperor was also, Dorn was also protecting the Emperor, he was right there by his side, everything else, something happened that he was becoming aware of that was told to Lehman. Okay? And he got a whiff of it. So whatever the subplot is that GW is threading throughout all these books, 30k, 40k, everything else, is all leading up to something huge.
Jesus.
Yes.
Fuck. I mean, I know there's a theory there that the Emperor still is technically dead and the Psychers are feeding him or really not doing much and shit, but
1,000 souls a day.
1,000 souls a day.
yeah.
Yeah. And just for emphasis, we're seeing, again, in the Beckman trilogy, we're seeing a whole bunch of stuff about other stuff. So I'll leave it there. We're gonna save some for the episode. I've already gone way too long. But that's the tip of the iceberg for all this stuff. Oh, and also the Cabal killed MLK.
That's still one of the most weirdest freaking.
That's the.
By the way, that
thing.
is actually not a conspiracy theory. The Cabal actually did kill MLK.
What's
So
your
if
proof?
You want to blame it on
It
someone?
was
there
it was in Unremembered Empire.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Shit.
An immortal Iwo Jima World War II vet admitted to killing MLK, also known as the good guy in Memphis.
Well,
Does this tie into the fact that MLK was supposedly taking communist money from the Soviet Union? Is the Cabal secretly just hate communism? Have they been based this entire time?
I have noticed a very, very big trend with GW and stomping out
God.
communism.
Maybe GW is just like subplotting. It's just all anti-communist. That's secretly GW's been big brain the entire time. They want to get past the censors, but they can't, so they have to instill the anti-communist.
Put it secretly in the books.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what I was talking about. This is what we were all waiting for, talking about the facts and the truths that nobody had, that big Warhammer doesn't want you to know.
Now, anyways, talking about our new product, Male Vitality Supplements. Get over right here. I have a picture of myself with red skin. Please buy now.
Use your tap mat.
Damn it.
yeah. You have a lot of
Sorry.
editing to do now.
Sorry. Oh, it's okay. It's a Christmas episode. We're all good.
Meh.
We're all good. The
But,
tapping was for emphasis. I'll let you know, I've been restricted to like a mat because I can't stop tapping the table.
It's your sensory mat. It's okay.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, guys, so that was just a quick little episode, just to just to kind of fill your day and maybe enjoy while you're enjoying some time with your family, or
If you ain't got no family, you're upstairs, in your room somewhere, or just in your kitchen, or in your living room in your underwear, modeling, putting together shit, painting,
whatever you decide to do.
Yeah.
During the holidays, as long as you're having a good time.
Indeed.
So with that, I guess we're gonna end the episode and
well, fucking as always,
kill,
maim,
maim,
burn.
Hey there, guys. From all of us at the Surface Lodge podcast, thank you so much for listening to the end of the podcast. It truly does mean the world to us. If you don't mind and if you enjoy this content, why don't you go on ahead and follow us on Spotify, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. And in the meantime, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.